Hello, everyone, and welcome to Blow the Whistle Sports. I'm your host, Wayne Holloway, and I invite you to sit back and relax and take a trip with us around the leagues as we give you our in-depth insight on what's going on in and out, ups and downs throughout the league. Right now, let me introduce my co-host, Mr. Steven Rubain.
Thank you for having me. I think I'm a little draft drunk. 3 days of drafts, 160 some picks. Oh my goodness!
Hey,
I'm still hearing draft picks in my head.
draft picks, NBA Finals. It's just going down, and baseball is a little turned down right now.
Yeah, baseball. Like I said earlier, baseball. I don't really get too concerned about baseball till around the All-Star break. So the first couple of weeks, first couple of months of the baseball season is kind of like a feeling out period. Kind of get an idea of
Who's going to be strong,
who's
who
going to be
not.
strong, who may not be strong. Kind of get an idea of who might be hitting, who might not be hitting. I'll wait till we'll talk about baseball in June.
Yeah. Please like, subscribe, and share. And if you have anything you want to say to us, drop them in the comments or hit us in the DMs. And we will be putting up all our social medias where you can get in contact with us also. You can hit us there. We do reply back. But without further ado, hey man, let's tap into let's go to boxing.
How about let's do a little boxing. We haven't started out a boxing segment for a while, so let's go into boxing.
You know how I felt about boxing. It was really watered down. I didn't like the way they were doing the showcases with Mayweather fighting MMA fighters, and then it's supposed to be counting against the record when it really wouldn't be it was just crazy.
Have you had a chance to see Big George Foreman yet? The movie?
Yes. Okay. Oh my goodness.
Tell me what you thought about the movie. I'm gonna get it because I'm a huge George Foreman fan. So tell me what you think about the movie.
If you are a true boxing enthusiast and if you love boxing, this is the movie for you. George Foreman is something else. I like to see it from his point of view with the whole Ali fight and all that stuff. It was great. It was great.
I mean, that's when boxing was king. The 1970s going to the early 80s, that's when boxing was king. I mean, boxers were larger than life. Everybody fought everybody. I mean, fights were not just a fight, but a spectacle.
And well, I don't blame things on the fighters. I blame things on the commission. Because if the commission was ran better, boxers wouldn't be able to duck boxers. It should be a list for who you have to fight to stay on top.
Yeah, I agree. Well, back in the Foreman days, his early days, there was just two commissions. You had the WBA and you had the WBC. Mm-hmm. And I think that's when boxing was strongest, when you only had two major commissions. You had to go to either one of those two to get a major fight. Then they added the IBF, then the IBO, then the IBA.
That's where all the belts came
alphabet
from.
soup. Yeah, then it just became who's who, what belt matters, and that's when boxing really started to go down.
That's why you can find somebody and they be like, these are the belts they recognize, but this man got 5 belts or 4 belts on from.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then guys are like jumping up 7, 8 classes. And, it just was a different time back then.
That's what I mean by watered down.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about the latest fight where he just destroyed this guy in the ring?
All right, talk about Tank Davis.
No,
the rabbit punch.
Tank. It's all about Tank.
Yeah, well, like I told you earlier, I need to see him step up his competition. We need him to fight the best of the best. I mean, that's the only way to save boxing at this point. I mean, because right now boxing is just, like you said, watered down,
dwindling.
It's dwindling. I mean, you can go back to even just Tyson in the 90s. You knew when every one of his fights were, it was built up for weeks and weeks in advance. Now, I found today, just by doing some research, there's 2 big fights this month. I had no clue. And we're talking about 2. I'm going to get it. This weekend, Cinco de Mayo, there's always to be a big fight. Usually a Mexican fighter will have a huge fight on Cinco de Mayo. And this week, Canelo is fighting this guy, Jake. I don't know. Never heard of the guy before. Jake.
What's shaking, Jake?
Yeah, Jake Ryder. Do you know who he is?
No.
Exactly. So Cinco de Mayo weekend, which used to be fights where you had like De La Hoya versus Mayweather.
The huge fights.
Now we're down to Canelo fighting the guy Jake Ryder. Are you excited? Are you ready to spend your $100 on that fight?
And that's what I'm talking about. Back when Tyson used to fight, it used to be so much excitement. People running around to go get the food. You wanted to be there because you didn't want to be late because the fight would be over with.
Right. You wanted to find out who had to fight for free so you can get in there.
Yes, sir. Well,
it's just not what it used to be.
And it's the boxing commission's fault.
Yeah,
this is stuff that's easy to fix.
Yeah.
Easy to fix.
Like I said, I'm a boxing lover. And like I said, I never even heard the fight before. I decided to do some research today for the show. I never even knew there was a fight this weekend.
Wow.
So it's just, that's where boxing is. And then in 2 weeks, Lomachenko, who a couple of years ago was like the up and coming pound for pound greatest fighter, he's fighting some guy, Devin Haney.
Well,
are you excited about that?
But exactly. Besides that, in other boxing news, Wilder's he went to jail.
Speaking of a guy
for possession, right?
Yeah. Speaking of a guy, well, not possession. No, had a gun weapons violation. So he I guess apparently, and he came out and just said, you can never be too safe. So that was his response. Was, he's making sure that he's on the street safe. So
yes, Mr. Wilder, this goes out to you.
It's just,
there's such thing as a professional bodyguard that handles all that work for you. Sports people, boxing, football, basketball, everybody, hire you a bodyguard to take care of you. Stop being cheap with your life. It's crazy out there in those streets.
Yeah. And it's not like you don't have the money. I mean, it's just, so what can you say? But I mean, has this stock not fallen? Like 4 or 5 years ago.
I don't know how his stock, he's only been beaten by Fury, right?
Yeah, but
it's like he lost his zest for the game after that.
But
that's what goes with these purses.
Mm-hmm.
Once, the person, and I'm not hating on purses because that's how these people get paid. But once they get that big money, it's just.
But this goes again. Now they're talking about him trying to fight Joshua over there in England in December. That fight should have happened several years ago. He should have fought. He should have fought Joshua before he went into that second or even the third Fury fight. Now the fight's lost its luster. I mean, I'm sure in the UK it's gonna be a big fight.
It should have been a buildup.
It should have been buildup.
It should feel like a movie almost when these fighters get ready to fight.
It's just not what it used to be, and that's what I'm saying. That boxing it has to reinvent itself, because right now you just see fighters just here, there, just having a little fight here, there, but there's no continuity. There's no, like you said, build up. Nobody really has Tank Davis, I guess right now is probably the fighter. Whitaker, remember like 3 or 4 years ago, Whitaker was like a huge fighter coming up, pound for pound, strongest. Now it's kind of like, okay.
Well,
is he fighting soon? Who knows?
Fighters used to be praised like baseball cards and football cards. Like you can recognize them. And it's been so watered down. They talk about one person, and everybody's on Mayweather's case. He's retired. Leave him alone.
Right, and he's still relevant. He's like, what, 45 years old?
My goodness.
Yeah.
That's because they want to see him fall. They don't want to see him walk away undefeated.
Well, I mean, he doesn't do himself any favors when he keeps like throwing these little exhibition fights out there. I mean, that's it.
Well, you know what? I can't get mad at somebody for seeing a way to get some money and going after it.
Yeah, he's working.
I get it, Steve. I get it. But you're talking about somebody that buys $1 million watches.
Yeah. Well, once again, you just said it right there. That's the problem. So
hey,
it is what it is. But let's not get too much in the box. I mean, I think we'll wait. Let's see how this fight goes.
And respect Tank. Stop.
No, I said Tank Davis needs it right now. He needs his help save boxing. Have him fight, Errol Spence. Have him fight something. Any of these main fighters out here who also have been ducking and dodging. What about Shakur Stevenson? Maybe they can find the same weight class and have them go against each other. That's what the boxing needs: 2 elite fighters in the ring at the same time. That's where the money. That's where the money's at. Anybody will come and pay to see that fight. I'm not going to pay money to go see Canelo fight Jake Hager or whatever his name is.
Mm. I get it. I get it. But I guess moving right along
All right.
to the NBA.
NBA playoffs. It's
Woo!
fantastic. Ah. Well, so far, I mean, getting into the NBA playoffs, we got to first of all talk about the teams that are no longer with us. Who saw the Milwaukee Bucks, number one seed in the East, going down in the first round?
I did.
You did? No, I didn't see it.
They ran well, but they failed.
They ran well, but they fell. Oof. And then the sixth and seventh seed in the West, the Lakers and the Warriors, both with big upsets. The Warriors knocking off their number two seed Sacramento King. Actually, no, sorry, number three seed Sacramento Kings. And then the
So
Lakers.
one of us picked the Warriors. I
You did pick
wonder
the
who
Warriors.
who was it?
You did pick them.
Okay.
And then the Lakers upsetting the number two seed Grizzlies. Let's talk about the Grizzlies. Dylan.
He displeased you, Steve?
Poke the bear. What? Why do people poke the bear?
Is it true that they're not going to bring him back?
Well, he can't bring him back.
They said they will not talk to him at all.
I'm concerned that where's he going to go? Who do you think's going to pick him up? He might be looking at overseas.
See, this is what I was talking about, players. I don't care how good you are. Win the game and you talk the smack after you've won. You don't ever put a fire in somebody to make them want to bust your tires the way you can't make it to work.
It reminds me, it reminds me of Lance Stevenson about 10 years ago. Remember Lance Stevenson when he was with the Pacers and he kept trying to poke LeBron James and get into his face and try to. Where's Lance Stevenson now?
Common sense.
You know,
everybody loves LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron is an NBA fixture. Who do you think they're going to give calls to, especially by you poking the bear?
But even that though, if you're going to poke the bear, you better play at an elite level. You can't poke the bear and be mediocre.
Right.
That's
Who are your picks, Steve?
Oh, Lakers, of course. Fortunately, I didn't have the Cavs, and that was the other big upset in the first round.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
The Cavs.
So one of your picks is already down, right?
Yeah, one pick's already down. The Cavs didn't show. I thought they were going to go further in the playoffs.
Both my picks are still alive.
One of the picks is still alive.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
So we wanted to point that out to you.
Well, the Knicks got their hands full. They're going up against a Heat team that's kind of,
if it ain't hot, it ain't gonna be worth playing.
But right now the Heat are struggling as Jimmy Butler's down, and we'll see if he's gonna play in the next couple games. But the playoffs have been pretty good. The game last night was strong. Lakers, Warriors.
Hey, I'm not taking anything away from the Lakers.
Yeah.
LeBron honestly did his thing. Wow. I'm a Lakers fan. It is what it is. I still pick the Warriors to win.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Okay.
From the conference to go up against the Knicks.
Well, I got to go with the Lakers then, just to go against you, so we can.
I mean, you could do that, but there's other teams you could go with.
No, I go with the Lakers. I got to go with a guy who's been there 10 times.
Hey,
I think 11 is looking
up. Hey, whatever makes you sleep better at night, Steve.
But don't forget, don't sleep on the Denver Nuggets, the number one seed. They've been looking pretty dominant against Phoenix.
Well, wait a minute, Steve. I don't want you to hop around. I want you.
No, I'm just saying.
I want you to pick a team that's going to go all the way to the end, and you ride their back, Steve. Now we're going to talk about everybody, but I'm riding on backs, and I'm riding the back to make it to the finals.
I got the Lakers. I said Lakers Nuggets going to be a strong series. I'm taking the Lakers pulled out in 7. Now I got the Philadelphia 76ers with the league MVP. Let's talk about this. Finally, Joel Embiid's able to get over the hump. The last 2 years, he finished second to Nikola Jokic. This year, he finally was able to take the league MVP from him. So,
hey, that was an easy switch for you. You picked the Cavaliers.
Yeah,
they ran well but fell, and now you move to the 76ers. I get it. I get it.
I got I think Joel Embiid, if he gets healthy, 100%, they're gonna run through the East.
It takes a lot to be a go getter and to pick somebody that's an underdog
No, I
to
don't do that.
rise from the ashes.
I like winning.
Hey, well,
I,
hey, how did it work when you picked the
it
Cavaliers?
didn't work too well. And
Oh, okay.
the NBA is one of the leagues that you got to go through the process. You got to you can't just come out of nowhere and win championships. You got to go through and win, lose, and win, lose. So right now, the Cavs, this is their next step.
Mm.
Into the first round. Now next year they're going to be into the second round. Then a couple years from now they'll be ready for the finals. The Knicks last year they went to the first round, lost. Now this year they're making it to the second round. They're going to lose this round, and then next year they'll be ready for the Eastern Conference Finals.
And right now with the Nuggets,
Well, the Nuggets have been up there for several years now, so this is their year to make that move. That
try to
next
make
step.
a push.
Yeah. So the question though is that LeBron and them have been there before, and you just gotta feel like if I'm gonna put my money on someone who I know is not the moment's not too big for him.
What I like, well, slow your roll. What I like right now is LeBron is playing every bit of what you're saying. LeBron is doing things in this finals that I've never seen him do. He's always been a hard worker. He's always been consistent. What I like what he's doing that I've never haven't seen him do, he's not backing away or shying away from the big shots. He's putting them on his back and he's trying to propel the team, carry the team. That let's not take anything away from Rumpelstiltskin. No, not,
Anthony Davis.
oh yeah, no, my bad. Humpty
Dumpty. They call him
Dumpty.
street clothes.
Yeah. He did his thing awesome. But how long until you know what? I'm not gonna wish but anything bad on the man. Let's hope they stay healthy because I want it to be a good finals and good game.
Let's keep the playoffs going. Okay, we'll watch the playoffs this week, and then next week we'll start getting to hopefully the conference final.
When is the next Laker Warrior game?
Laker Warriors are on tomorrow. So we got game 2 tomorrow, so out of Golden State. So let's see.
This is when it's exciting for me.
Yeah.
This when every shot means something. I love that.
Yeah. No, it's been like I said, yesterday's game. You could tell a lot. Everybody they were playing hard. So
I'm gonna tell you, my wife was going crazy. Yes. Now, do you think the Lakers got a bunch of calls? What do you think about that?
I watched the whole game last night. The more aggressive team always gets the calls. You guys know. Golden State plays at outside in either everything is outside shots. You're not going to get a lot of calls with 85% of your shots at 3-pointers. And the Lakers, when they're playing and you playing that bully ball, you know, LeBron does do that bully ball. Anthony Davis is fighting inside. They're going to get those calls.
Maybe you should come over tomorrow and watch the game.
Yeah, I'm saying, I'll definitely come and see it.
All right. Now, is there anything else you wanted to say about it? Or are we going to move to the next?
Yeah, let's move on. Let's get time for some football. Before we get to the NFL, though, I got to take a second to talk about the XFL playoffs. XFL playoffs. Now I know you haven't.
I'm not gonna lie to anybody.
Have you sat through one game this year?
I sat through a half a game. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. I kind of like it, but it's different. It's different. You want to hear a name that you know. You know what I mean? You want to hear some.
You're a name drop. That's what you're saying. You got to have. You can't appreciate the game for the game itself, the pureness of the football, the innovativeness of how they're going about this. You know, having everything be on the mic. You know, it's not like the NFL where everybody's done in secret. It's like, where's the call? Why did they make that call? And then you hear the XFL. You immediately go to the booth and you hear them going out explaining why they made that call. And I love that.
That's the part that I have taken, and I mentioned before on another show. NFL needs to look into that to where everybody feels comfortable about calls when they're called, not just well, when was the last time they made that call? Well, it's part of the rules. This is how it is, and that's how it's going to be. No. It needs to be explained out where everybody feels comfortable.
I haven't seen one play this year where after the call has been explained, everything goes, people are still getting upset about it. It makes it so much easier when you watch the game when you know exactly why they came up with that determination. It's not no mystery, no, could have gone either way. No, it's explained. You see.
So what's going on with the XFL
So
playoffs?
right now, except our
Who's in it?
playoffs, well, we got two teams, the DC Defenders. Now they've been by far the top team in the XFL this season. 10-1, the best defense has just looked strong. Best crowd. Have you seen Beer Snake?
You know what? Wait a minute. I'm a little bit off subject.
Yeah.
Did you say DC?
DC Defenders.
As in Washington?
Washington, DC.
It's just kind of strange that as you being a Commander fan, being a DC fan, and I see you got your hat over there, that
Coming
the
soon.
main team in the XFL
Yeah.
that's making moves is in DC also.
In DC, that's right. And hey, and the even worse part, led by our coach Greg, who should have been the Redskins coach after Joe Gibbs left. But because of our horrible, stupid owner,
It gotta be over with soon, Steve.
yeah,
Stop kicking the man. He's down already.
he's not down. Why is he holding on to the team? Sell this team already. Can we please get this sell done?
It's gonna happen.
All right, but
It's gonna happen.
okay, but I'm not going to divert. Let's get back to the Defenders. Yes, they are from DC. They've been 10-1. These top team, led by quarterback Jordan Ta'amu. They look strong. They beat Seattle, which was also one of the better teams. They beat them 37-21 over the weekend in DC. Now, the surprise team is the Arlington Renegades. Now, this team lost 4 of his last 5 games, finished 4-6 in the regular season, 2 games under 500.
Right.
Made the playoffs as the final seed, and then upset Houston, who was the number 1 seed at the West. They beat them 26-11 this weekend to make the finals.
That's what I like about football. Any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday. So you got the 10-1 Defenders versus the 5-6 Renegades.
Wow.
This might be one of the highest as far as the picks for Vegas. I'm guessing that DC has to be at least 13, 14 point favorites, if not higher. I'm putting my money on DC to win convincingly.
When is this game?
This game is taking place. Is it next weekend or a weekend now? I think it's this weekend.
I think I might watch this game.
Yeah, watch this game. It's a final. And it's taking place in San Antonio, which I think San Antonio should be one of those teams that could be looking to get a franchise one day. They already got a ready-made stadium, a dome, and they have a good, strong fan base. So that's my opinion.
That's right.
All right, so that's it for XFL. Let's get into the NFL draft.
Uh-oh. NFL draft.
NFL draft. Like I said, 3 days. It's NFL draft, one of those things like on Thursday, you're like pumped up. It's like, first round. Then by Friday, it's like, yeah, second, third round. And then by Saturday, it's like, oh my God, why are they still picking? Is this still going on? Is this still happening?
I'm going to say it like this.
It's a long Saturday. Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and lead off with?
Hey, you know what? Not only will I lead off. Hold up 1 second. Not only will I lead off, what I will do is go into a Cali Cat Pack report. I won't take long, Steve.
Okay.
I will not take long. Oh, people. Cali Cat Pack. We are here. It is time. Let me do this. Cali Cat Pack report. We have our new QB. He is in the building, and his name is Bryce Young. All those people that was holding out for CJ Stroud, let it go. Let it go. It's time to get in and get it going. Keep pounding. Carolina Panthers, We about to go strong. I feel a Cinderella story coming on. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Oh, Cali Cat Pack, Roaring Riot, Panther Nation. Let's go. Hey.
That felt passionate. I had to take a break for a second. I felt that passion.
And that's the Cali Cat Pack report.
Okay. Well, this draft is going to be called the draft of the quarterback. And the reason why I say that is because for the first time in the history of the NFL draft, you had 3 quarterbacks drafted in the top 4 of the NFL draft. Also, you had 13 quarterbacks drafted in the first 5 rounds, the most of any draft in history. I call this the Brock Purdy effect. Teams are copycats. They see something and they're like, we want to try to learn from that and not follow the same route. And
Brock Purdy, copycats.
Yeah, because
elaborate on that.
Okay, I will elaborate. Because teams they slipped. Let's be honest. 31 teams had a chance to get Brock Purdy last year. 31 teams whiffed. The Niners is pretty much Mr. Irrelevant. They just it's like a throw-in pick. It's the last pick of the draft. Just go ahead and get him. We all saw what he did for the Niners, leading to the championship game. Now, I'm going to talk about this for a second because while teams are copycats, I still don't understand why some teams don't get it. They want to do things their own way when you should learn from the mistakes of other teams. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But as far as with Brock Purdy, what I'm saying is that a lot of teams are like, they want that diamond in the rough, that guy, that late round quarterback that turns out to be a Brock Purdy. So, yeah, Brock Purdy, like I said, a lot of quarterbacks were drafted, even more so for free agents afterwards. So there's going to be a lot of change at the quarterback position, not just as starters, but also in the second quarterback, third quarterbacks, etc. Let me get into my Washington Commanders. I'm gonna get back in a second to the top picks. Now, the Washington Commanders had the 16th pick in the draft. Now, this guy, Will Levis. Now, remember we talked about Will Levis last week?
Willie?
Yes, old Willie. There was talk about Will Levis going second, going third, going fourth in the draft.
They pumped that man up where that man had his family there in a suit.
They had his man in a suit, had the whole family there.
Shameful.
Now, the Commanders, with the 16th pick, they could have easily got Will Levis. What did they do? They draft a cornerback. Now, maybe they were thinking quarterback. They were confused. I don't have a problem. I'm going to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. I hope he turns out to have a strong career.
Willie?
The reason why I got an issue with drafting him in the 16th pick, you got to look how the league's going now. This is the fantasy football NFL.
Yes, sir.
The league is set up to be, number one, quarterback friendly, and number two, to put a lot of points on the board. So wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, they have the advantage over defensive guys. Now, even if this guy is a super great lockdown defender, is his value going to be worth that number one pick when you could have got your quarterback that could be
future?
Now, your guy, I'm gonna call him your guy now because I'm ready to cut him right now. Ron Rivera.
Oh, no. When I told you about Mr. Riverboat Ron, you were like, he did what he's supposed to do. And you're right. He made you guys ordinary and average. And we've talked about this earlier in the week. Ordinary and average in the NFL team, which means you win games, which means you don't get quality draft picks, makes you irrelevant.
Absolutely. And that we're going to agree on. We will agree on that much. That we can agree on. But this guy, Riverboat Ron, comes out and says, well, we believe in Sam Howell. So we're good. Sam Howell has played one football game in his NFL career. You got Jacoby Brissett, and I like Jacoby Brissett. You got nothing else. Didn't teams learn from what the 49ers did last year? The
Teams
Niners
did. Washington Commanders did.
No, they didn't. The 49ers had Trey Lance start the season, get knocked out week 2 for the season, then put in Jimmy G. He gets knocked out week 7 or 8. Then they put in Brock Purdy, who carried them into the playoffs. He gets knocked out in the championship game. They're left with Josh Johnson. He gets hurt. They got to put back in Brock Purdy because they had nothing else but Christian McCaffrey. So this guy with a damaged elbow had to go out there, couldn't even throw the ball. God forbid something would have happened and he would have hurt himself worse.
Mm-hmm.
And they were stuck with this situation because this is a championship game.
And he could have hurt himself worse.
He could have hurt himself worse.
He tried to throw the ball.
Yeah. I mean, and the season's on the line, and they had nothing else but him or Christian McCaffrey, the quarterback.
They drew a brain for it.
That should have been a wake-up call to every team. You got to have 3 dominant quarterbacks, at least. Maybe have a 4th one stocked up.
At least on the practice squad.
At least on the practice squad. Ron Rivera, because he is Ron Rivera, said, nah, we good with just 2. We're going to go into the season with just 2. If we need somebody else, we'll just deal with it when we get to it.
Yeah, I had to point that out about Cam Newton.
I mean, if that's not a loser mentality, I don't know what is.
With the issues with Cam Newton, Ron Rivera in mentoring is not the man.
No.
If Ron went to a team that had a decent quarterback already, I believe he'll be okay because he's more of like a PlayStation player. Give me the team that's ready to go already. You can't have Ron come in and expect him to make a team great.
Well, I'm waiting for the new ownership to come in and they can clean house as far as I'm concerned. After this latest move, when you could have drafted Will, and we're gonna see years from now, we're gonna see what Will Levis becomes, and we'll be able to see the cornerback that they drafted. We'll see how he becomes and make that move from there. But I'm not too happy about it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I believe I'm gonna tell you this. I told you before this draft that it was deep in quarterbacks, right?
Yes.
I said at least 3 quarterbacks are going to be standout, and I believe 2 will be okay. Where it's like they're going to still make some waves.
Yeah,
I believe this is that draft.
Yeah, I think you're right, and maybe even more than that. I think it could be a good 6 or 7 quarterbacks who end up having quality careers in the NFL out of this draft.
Yes, sir.
But let's get into those picks. So as you mentioned already, we've heard number 1, Carolina picked. Now for number 2, the Texans.
Wait a minute. Who did Carolina pick?
What's his name? Bryce Young?
Yes, sir. Say, put some respect on his name.
Let's talk about Bryce Young for a second, since you did bring his name up.
Hey, he's first. He should be talked about. Shouted from the hills.
Here's the problem I have with the analytics and the whole issue of metrics and all this. Everybody cries about Bryce Young because he's 5'11 and a half, supposedly. Now, if he was 6'1", nobody has a problem with him. Right. But because he's an inch and a half shorter, somehow that inch and a half is supposed to relate to not being a capable quarterback. Explain that to me.
Haters.
Yeah, I don't understand. If you can find something wrong with a guy because he's 5'11", that's your issue with him. It doesn't make any sense.
When he's already proven,
yeah,
that he's accurate and he's the man. Now, to add what you're saying, this is how C.J. Stroud stock dropped right before 2 days before the draft. They want to drop that news about the test.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, some people just don't take tests well. Number 1, and number 2, last I checked, you're not doing any written tests on a football field. When you're in the game and there's a 6'7" lineman trying to knock your head off, nobody's worried about how you did on that analytics test. We're worried about, can you get that ball away quickly and can he get the ball away accurately?
There you
Those
have
should be the two things you should be concerned with: quick decisions and accuracy.
My only thing with CJ is the Texans going to do the right thing this time? Are they going to keep their team together? Is the owner going to stay in the owner's box and let the coach do the coaching?
Well, I mean, let's be honest now. In all due respect to the Texans did mess up how they got rid of J.J. Watt, how they got rid of Hopkins.
They messed up the whole team. They messed up their own mojo.
Now, Deshaun Watson was his own beast. He decided to go his own way with his decision making.
Now, Steve,
we had to talk.
The Deshaun Watson thing came out after they had destroyed the team, Steve.
Well, like I said,
so let's stay on subject
about
the Texans breaking up a dynamic team that only needed a running back to really make a Super Bowl run. They had a team that they would have been untouchable with a running back.
I hear you. Like I said,
one piece away.
I questioned the moves. I told you I questioned the moves, but Deshaun Watson, I mean, he decided on his own to leave town. He asked for the trade. They didn't want to force a trade with him. They would have been happy to keep him. So it is what it is.
Deshaun Watson wanted to trade once the owner got into an argument with his number one wide receiver that he was getting consistently over 1,000 yards a season. Yeah. Now, this is after he already got rid of one of his good players. He kept destroying defensive pieces. This is the owner.
Yeah.
Owner. At one time, they had J.J. Watt and Clowney.
Yeah. I'm not supporting the Texans' decisions. I'm just telling it like it is as far as with Deshaun Watson is that he decided he's on his own. He wanted to leave town. I mean,
and truth be told, once Deshaun Watson was like, I don't want to hear nothing y'all got to say, that's when these allegations seem to bubble up to the top.
Well, yeah. I mean, and he's still, to this day, let's talk about one of his other cases may go to trial this week. So it's not over yet as far as the Deshaun Watson situation, but the Texans now, I guess, are going with a fresh new start. They moved up to the number 3 pick, so they drafted 2 and 3 and got Ryan Anderson, who many people believe might be the best player in the draft.
They have always been brilliant in the draft.
So they had a really strong draft. They got their quarterback in the future and got their defensive powerhouse edge player for the future. So, and then the Colts, with the big surprise, number 4, took Anthony Richardson, who people were like talking about, oh, he's falling like a rock. Oh, he's falling.
How do you feel about Anthony Richardson?
Hey, low risk, high reward. I mean, it's a situation where if he pans out, the Colts got to steal the draft. If he doesn't pan out, it's the Colts.
I think with his assets and his abilities, along with the strong run game they got already, I believe they can do something immediately.
Yeah.
If the offensive coordinator, see, this is my thing. Like when you see us talk, offensive coordinators have players on the team, and they have certain abilities and certain skills.
Right.
I hate when an offensive coordinator writes a playbook that doesn't complement the skills of the players that he's writing them for.
Well, that's the ego thing. That's when a good coach always adjusts himself to his talent. But the problem now is that you have a lot of players who have that ego, and you're gonna do things my way, and I got to play. This is how I do things, and you're gonna do it how I want it. So I'm not a fan of that at all. I'm agreeing with you as far as that. That's a bad coordinator. If you don't adjust yourself to your talent, give an example, the Ravens. The Ravens adjusted their offense to meet Lamar Jackson's skill set.
That man got paid. Yeah. Let's give it up for Lamar Jackson getting his money.
He got his money. Yeah, okay. Give him his credit. Now, like I always try to tell you, okay, now you got your money. Now put your money where your mouth is.
Show and prove, buddy. Show and prove, Tom.
You got the money. Now you better championship or bust. I mean, that's just what you want to get paid for. So he got his guy OBJ. Now, I'm gonna hold off on Aaron Rodgers. I've never been an Aaron
Before
Rodgers
you go
fan.
to Aaron Rodgers, you just skipped over
Well,
Antonio Brown said.
Antonio Brown, he's a clown. I don't even want. We can save him for later. But let's talk about.
But he's talking about going to the Baltimore.
Man, and you notice Baltimore saying nothing.
That's true.
Antonio Brown's coming out saying he's going to the Ravens. I haven't heard Lamar Jackson say it. I haven't heard the coach of the Ravens say it, and I definitely haven't heard the owner say it. So
I wish whoever's in Antonio Brown's camp, because I'm with Steve on let's let that dead cow line. Could you give this man some help? I mean, you can't see this man crying out.
I mean, it's just crazy. How you gonna come out and just make an announcement that you go into a team when the team don't even make the announcement that they taking you in?
Not only that, you heard he has a team that he owns.
Yeah. Oh God.
And everybody's the coach fired himself. People are not getting paid. People walked out. Everything is in disarray for this man.
I mean, it's just one thing after another. He's a victim of the social media age. Social media has destroyed Antonio Brown because he's gotten so caught up with the Instagrams and the TikToks and the whole thing of trying to self-promote yourself that it's just made him out of control. He's more concerned about being in the news than about making news. He just wants to be in the news. He doesn't want to be successful. He doesn't want to win. He just wants to get that latest thing. It's sad.
I heard his cry out when he said that he believed that he had CTE, and I believe that he's showing signs of it.
Oh, it's definitely showing signs of it. But like we said, you can never know for sure until after they're dead and they're able to examine his brain.
That's crazy
if he truly has it. But no, I was tying it to Aaron Rodgers because we were talking about quarterback getting his wide receiver.
Hey, well, let's get to Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers today made the Jets sign Randall Cobb.
And you knew it was coming.
Randall Cobb
is his Swiss Army knife.
Look at this. I'm gonna throw some facts at you guys.
Let's go.
Randall Cobb hasn't had more than 50 receptions since 2015. Randall Cobb hasn't had 1,000 yards receiving since 2014. Randall Cobb has only had one season when he had even 70 receptions. Why are we taking a position for someone, you get somebody who's more productive? I mean, nothing personal towards him. He's old now and he's not productive. Why are you giving up a spot that could go to somebody that could build a future just to appease Aaron Rodgers?
You want me to explain it to you?
Yeah, please do.
They've already got Lazard on the team.
Okay.
Now, they signed Randall Cobb because Randall Cobb is a veteran. They signed Randall Cobb not for his abilities, but for him understanding Aaron Rodgers, which makes it easier for him to be in the wide receiver meeting and explain to him, when Aaron Rodgers does this, he wants you to do this. When Aaron Rodgers does that, he needs you to do this. That's the reason why Randall Cobb has come along, because he knows the signals better than anyone. And he can help those young guys on the Jets. And by that happening, I believe that the Jets will be relevant for as long as Aaron Rodgers is on the team.
Now, didn't they sign Randall Cobb to the Green Bay Packers last year for the same thing?
Well, what I believe was happening, because he called out the wide receivers and they had this big kerfuffle, let's say that. Yes. They weren't listening. They were being hard-headed.
Okay.
Because something evidently had to be worked out, because how do you call out somebody and then have them sign Lazard?
Yeah, exactly.
That was the main person that you was having the issue with, because that was your number one wide receiver, and he didn't. I picked him up on every fantasy team, and they didn't have no connection.
So I'm supposed to be sold on the Jets team that's bringing over the same number one wide receiver that they went below 500 with, and Randall Cobb, who could have controlled the locker room last year and only had 34 receptions last year for like about 300 yards.
No, what you can be sold on is a vain person named Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Wanting to prove everyone, trust me, he hears us, he hears everyone on First Take, the Stephen A's, the Shannon, he hears the criticism and he wants to prove you wrong. Now, how long will they have him? I believe Aaron Rodgers is only here for the next 2 years.
So you're taking 2 years and you think in these next 2 years, because let's be honest, it's Super Bowl or bust. If they don't make it to the Super Bowl, the Aaron Rodgers experiment is a failure. Would you agree?
I will agree.
Okay. So the next 2 years, you expect them to somehow leap over Buffalo, leap over Baltimore, leap over Kansas City.
The Jets defense was decent. It was better than decent.
Okay.
I believe they were going to make this division. This division is going to be hot and on fire. I believe this is a division that's going to be like that Cowboys that NFC division where all 3 teams make it.
Okay. All right.
That's what I believe.
Okay. All right then. Well, that's to be seen. I don't buy into Aaron Rodgers. I think he's holding the Jets hostage. I think he's taking their money from them. He saw a sucker.
I was with you on that until they signed Randall Cobb, because that signing didn't mean anything until they signed him, and then I saw the press conference that he did. He's going to give it a go. He was actually smiling, looking like the old Aaron Rodgers. He didn't have that painted on unhappy smile.
Okay.
I believe that no matter what, he's going to give it. This first year is going to be. He's going to give it a terrific go.
He give it all the go he wants to give it.
With that arm, that's all he got to do. Don't disrespect the arm. You can disrespect the man and the work ethic and the greediness. I understand that, but
who are you? So who are you seeing though on that team that for some reason will come out of nowhere and become a superstar? Who do you see on the Jets now that we haven't seen already, that somehow is going to come out of nowhere and become the superstar? Michael Carter is a solid running back. Lazard is who he is. Who am I missing? I mean, Aaron Rodgers could be everything he wants to be, but he got to be able to pass the ball to people. You got to have a running game. You got to have an offensive line. And like you said, the defense is solid, but it's not, with everything else, it's not going to make up for that to beat the Chiefs. It's not beat Buffalo. It's not going to beat Miami.
Jets have the defense that if the defense stands up and gives Aaron Rodgers time with these wide receivers, I would love to hear something in the press about Aaron Rodgers bringing the wide receivers and passing the ball around to him to get timing and things down. I would love to hear something like that.
You know what Aaron Rodgers is doing? What's that? You know what Aaron Rodgers is doing? Aaron Rodgers is courtside at the Knicks game 1 and 2 with his Milwaukee Bucks owner's daughter, girlfriend, doing the celebrity thing. He's not caring about coordinating with the wide receivers. He's not caring about training camp.
The draft just ended, Steve. Yeah. The man just got in the building, Steve.
Okay.
Let's see in the next couple months, Steve, what happens.
How many times have you seen Tom Brady courtside at the basketball game in the offseason?
Let's be clear. There's only one person right now that I would compare to Tom Brady. You know who that would be?
Who's that?
The Eagles quarterback.
Thank you.
That's the only person I would compare to him right now. And that's what we're talking about, mindset of wanting to win. Did you hear what the man said?
Yeah, I heard what he said.
What did he say? Tell everybody.
He said, money is nice. Championships are better. And you know what he's doing right now? He's working hard in the offseason, getting ready to get a championship.
Now, but I brought that up to tell you, there are only so many people with that type of mindset. But what you can depend on from Mr. Aaron Rodgers is wanting to prove naysayers wrong, and he will. He will make a stand. He will make that team stand up this year.
So. All right, guys. What's that? Let's quote packet on that.
He'll make a team stand up.
Because come this time next year when
I didn't say a Super Bowl. Don't get to when we get to the playoffs. You talking about? I thought no. I said he's gonna make them stand up.
We can stand up. Right.
They're gonna be better than average. I'll put it to you like that.
The team was almost a playoff team last year. If they would have won those last 2 games, they would have been in the playoffs.
Exactly. Now they have Aaron Rodgers. Now think what they're going to do.
Okay. All right. So you guys heard it. We go.
I'm glad he answered his own question about what about those wide receivers.
Come the end of the season, because Packers has a reason to he'll scapegoat for Rodgers. When Rodgers loses, then it's like, well, it was. Remember in Green Bay, you blamed the owners, the management, the owners. You blamed everybody for Aaron Rodgers.
In Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers had already told everybody how displeased he was with how everything was being done. And what did they fix the problem and put love in? No, they threw money at the situation instead of fixing the problem. The man was clearly distraught with the whole team, with the whole organization, and you let him do what he did.
So if he was distraught with the whole team, why did he take the whole team and take him to the Jets?
He took 2 people.
If Green Bay was such a horrible situation,
he took 2 people.
Why would you take 2 wide receivers?
Because Aaron Rodgers wanted them to know his signals. That was the biggest problem that he had last year, was the signals. And if anybody's paying attention, when you have a general come in, you learn what the general likes. Yeah. So he put them in a situation to where all these young guys get around these wide receivers that came from where he came from and get the knowledge.
Can we get somebody to call me? You got a few minutes to open the lines today?
We'll have to open the lines next week, Steve. We only have a few minutes,
oh, man. My goodness. Because this is, we need to have an argument on this one. Because you and I don't see eye to eye on Aaron Rodgers.
Steve, you
want a scapegoat for this man.
You're just spewing hate at Aaron Rodgers.
I'm just calling it what it is.
No, I called it what it is.
The man hasn't won since 2009. He had a Super Bowl. He's 14 seasons. He has not been to the Super Bowl. 14 seasons. But yet he is being given elite status as if in the time that Ben Roethlisberger has won 2 Super Bowls. We've had Eli Manning has won 2 Super Bowls. We've had Russell Wilson has won Super Bowls. I mean, he's had chance after chance after chance, and now for some reason you want me to believe at 39 years old he's going to find a fountain of youth, and all of a sudden
all I said was he's going to make them. He's going to make them relevant
with no elite talent around him. Nobody around him is elite. But yet he's supposed to make them elite.
Like you said, the Jets had no elite talent. They were average talent last year.
Right.
And they were only 2 games out of the playoffs.
Right.
Now that average team is not only average anymore, they have Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
They don't have that issue anymore, Steve.
But all of a sudden, it's just supposed to all click for him. Like it takes time for teams to click. So he's going to go to a new situation. And all of a sudden, off the bat, they're going to be clicking elite.
Listen to this, Steve.
Yeah.
Click.
Okay. All right, then. So, y'all heard it, guys. Y'all heard it. Well, we're going to close out. We got 5 guys on the hot seat.
Uh-oh.
So, I heard there's 5 quarterbacks on the hot seat.
It's getting hot in here.
Number 1, Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
I mean, his seat is sizzling. He might even make it. You think he's gonna make it to the start of the season?
Hey, you're lucky because Belichick, he's not happy.
Not happy
at all.
At all.
But I bet you Belichick don't put it on himself. Belichick wanted a certain guy over there that he got outvoted to get.
Now, I'm surprised that the Patriots didn't try to move up to get a quarterback in this draft. Given all the heat that Mac Jones has supposedly been on in this whole Belichick situation, You would have thought he would have got somebody elite to challenge Mac Jones, but I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see on Mac Jones. But number 2, Dak Prescott.
Woo!
Now his seat's hot.
You think it's hot?
Oh man, it's hot.
Nah, the Cowboys.
There's no way.
Star Status. Y'all hear Steve? I talk to the members from Star Status all the time, and they swear by Dak Prescott.
There's no way Dak Prescott can have even a decent season and stay in Dallas. He has to have an all-pro elite season. This is Super Bowl or bust season for the Cowboys.
Oh man.
Especially given how the Eagles turned out last year. There's no way Jerry Jones is going to allow the Eagles to reign supreme in the NFC East. So Dak Prescott has a lot of pressure on him.
Mac Jones 1, Dak Prescott 2. Number 3.
This is a kind of a surprise, but it kind of makes sense though. Desmond Ridder for the Falcons. You're like, who?
Man.
You know, they had Mariota.
Mm-hmm.
Mariota has gone on to greener pastures. Now they get this guy Ridder, who was a first-round pick, to come in and be the savior organization. The Falcons don't trust quarterbacks too much. So I think he has a real short hook.
What's his first name?
Desmond Ridder.
Desmond Ridder.
He was the first-round draft choice several years ago. And now they've cleaned the house to put him in there. He's kind of like with the Commanders with Sam Howell. But for some reason, the Commanders truly believe in Sam Howell, whereas the Falcons are like, we're going to give you a chance. But if you don't do well, you're going to be replaced.
Well, let me put Ron Rivera has faith in Sam.
Yeah, well, he's right now the face of the franchise.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying because the guy that had the heart, y'all let him walk. The guy that I like that y'all had. The guy that has more heart but no arm like Brett Favre, whatever you were saying.
And speaking of which, where is he now? He's in Atlanta. So he's the backup to Ridder. So, Ridder starts off bad. There's no reason why to put a Taylor Heineke, Brett Favre with the arm. I said Brett Favre without the arm. There's no reason not to put him in there.
All right, that's number 3.
All right, that's number 3.
Who's number 4?
Your guy. Your guy, Matthew Stafford. This is the put up or shut up year for him.
He'll be all right.
2 years foregone from a Super Bowl. He got to turn the franchise back around to their winning ways.
1 year.
Well, 1 year. Call it whatever you want to call it.
Don't put extra years on
it.
He had the Super Bowl, and then they had a lull because of the wide receiver situation.
All right.
It's not his fault they got rid of one of their best wide receivers to pick up Robinson, and Robinson never panned out. You spent all your money and you put all your chickens in the basket. You got Stanford. You got elite arm there. You got the man that got you the Super Bowl as soon as you signed him. Put people around him. You should have made Odell happy, regardless of how hurt he was, just to have the name, just so all the other wide receivers would have the chance at the ball. See, Odell, although I don't believe he's elite anymore, he still draws a double team at certain times, which makes somebody else have an open slot, which makes it easier for Matthew Stafford. It's not Matthew Stafford. It's the Rams organization that has to put the pieces to the puzzle.
Okay, well, is he on the hot seat? Yes or no?
I don't think he's on the hot seat.
So you think he's fine? You think they're just going to stick with him no matter what?
Well, Matthew Stafford will always have a job.
Well, okay, all right then.
Hey, I guarantee you, any of these teams that's struggling would love to take him that has these top wide receivers.
Okay, all right then. So you're still a Stafford believer. I'm not, but
I believe in Stafford.
Okay. Well, here's somebody else to believe in, but
pick number 5.
Number 5
on the sizzling.
Now this is not even so much about his talent. This is about his concussions. Tua.
Oh,
I mean, if anybody's under pressure not to have a concussion next year, it's Tua.
Hey, Tua, throw that ball in the dirt, man.
If he has another concussion,
don't stand in there.
Yeah,
throw that ball in the dirt. Now, if you get to the playoffs, you might have to stand in there. But right now, It's all about your health, sir.
Yeah.
I love this game, but your health comes first, Tua.
So he's under pressure. He got to stay healthy because I don't know how they're gonna be able to pull him back in if he gets another concussion. So that's our top 5 players who are on the hot seat for next year at the quarterback position.
And that's the QB news.
So closing out the we got a few minutes left. How much time we got left? A few minutes?
No more time, Steve. Go ahead.
All right, there's a close out on this one. The Detroit Lions. I got some Lion fans in there, so I had a little back and forth with some of my Lion fan friends. The Lions last year had 3 strong running backs. They decided to let Jamal Williams, who had 16, 17 touchdowns, walk in free agency to go get a contract that he only got paid $3 million next year. They could have easily paid him that. Mm-hmm. So they let him walk. Now they go out and they draft Gibbs from Alabama, which I like him as a player. I saw him play in college. He is dynamic. He's a player that can make the big play. But then you're going to go and trade DeAndre Swift to the Eagles and make the Eagles stronger. Why would you not just keep Swift and Gibbs? Once again, this goes back to my Commanders thing. You can never have too much talent at the skill positions.
Hey.
I don't understand it. And so now they left this rookie now to be pretty much by himself.
And then he got to put up or shut up.
Yeah, got to put up or shut up. And so Lions be Lions. So we'll see. Well, I hope for his sake that he has a strong season, but if things don't turn out for the Lions, we know why. But I do like the Lions, maybe with the best pick of the draft, Hendon Hooker, quarterback for Tennessee. They got him. They know that Goff's your guy. You can let Hooker have a redshirt year, get his knee back.
Hooker was sit out for 2 years.
Yeah, let him sit out for 2 years.
Because Goff looked good last year, and I believe the Detroit Lions are going to be a team. They're going to be scrapping this year.
And Goff got his extension today, so it looks like he's going to be around for a little longer. So that was a big move today.
Yes, sir.
So that's about it for the NFL. We got some more time to get into some more stuff.
Hey, people, next week we'll be right here, same time, same place. Blow the Whistle Sports, 7:00 on Wednesdays. Blow the Whistle Sports. What time, Steve?
Wednesdays at 7:00 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time.
Please like, subscribe, and share. Hit us in the DMs. We will be posting all our social medias, and we can't wait to see y'all next week. We'll have another doozy for you. Peace out.
Peace.
See ya.